Welcome to the anatomy of a prediction. You know, during the last couple of days, or today and yesterday, people been asking me, why did you feel so confident about Terence Crawford beating Canelo Alvarez, or why, were you saying that you were sure? So, I want to get into the anatomy of this prediction. Why did I feel confident that Terence Crawford was going to win this fight? So I'm going to tell you guys. This prediction, or how I formulated this prediction, doesn't even start, you know, in when they announced this fight, or the year before they announced this fight. The way that this prediction starts is way back in the beginning. And I'm going to tell you why. When I make a prediction for a fight of this magnitude, I'm taking a lot of things into consideration, a lot of data. I'm not going with the guy that I like the best, the guy that, is more popular or more famous. I'm taking a lot of things into consideration. I'm not just guessing, right? If I'm going to be confident, I need to know what I'm talking about. And this prediction started about over 10 years ago, probably like 12 years ago. Can't remember off the top of my head. But it started the first time that I saw Terence Crawford fighting. And I'm going to make that make sense for you. The first time that I saw Terence Crawford fight, I was amazed. Seeing the way that he was counter-punching his opponent, the way that he was setting him up. Back then, I already knew that Terence Crawford was a special fighter. And I still remember, it was before he fought Gamboa. And it was the second time that I seen him already. So I called one of my friends that likes boxing. And I was like, yo, you gotta come through, man. You gotta see this guy. You gotta see this guy, bro. He comes through. We watch the fight. Terence Crawford wins by knockout. Whoa, we're both like, this guy's the truth, man. And I told him, right now, I can't see nobody messing with this dude. And at that time, Terence Crawford was fighting in the 130 division. Then he fought Gamboa. What a fight. Very competitive fight. Crawford got buzzed and found a way to stop Gamboa. And then that fight told me, man, this guy's special. So I'm not going to tell you guys that even back then I knew that Terence Crawford was going to do these things. But I already knew that he was special all the way back then when he wasn't a big star, when people wasn't talking about him. I already knew that this guy was special. This is something that I'm considering into my prediction of what's going to happen versus Canelo Alvarez. While people are, underestimating him and diminishing his accomplishments, I've been following this guy closely for a long time. Then he goes to the welterweight division, and you see what he ended up doing to Errol Spence. Absolutely destroyed him. Goes up, beats Madrimov. So if you look at his entire resume, while people have been saying he ain't fight nobody, Terence Crawford for the last 10 plus years has been fighting champions, former world champions, or highly ranked opponents. He's not fighting guys with losing records. He's not fighting bums. He's not fighting. This guy stopped every single opponent that he faced in the welterweight division. All of these things I'm taking into consideration. So while people are clinging on to Canelo's stronger, Canelo's bigger, I'm not looking at all that because that's just one aspect of a fight. Strength. Cool. I'm looking at all the different things. Now, when I see the opponents that Terence Crawford has been in the ring with them, what he's been able to do with them, I'm going to consider his physical attributes. Terence Crawford is taller than Canelo Alvarez, and he got longer reach than Canelo Alvarez. Then when I look at him, at Canelo, he has a wider frame, but we have to see that not only is he shorter, but he got short arms. He has that type of frame where he has the short arms. We already saw that he struggled against Dimitri Bivol. Obviously he lost, and he lost to Floyd Mayweather, but he also struggled versus Erislandy Lara. And I said this before, my peoples. It's not that tall guys give Canelo problems, because he got good head movement. He know how to get on the inside and do what he has to do. It's tall guys with great footwork. They give him problems. Why? Because if you're tall, Canelo's gonna have to get inside of to be within his own punching range. He has to do that. But if you're tall, you're gonna be able to put hands on him while he can't reach you. That footwork made the difference for those guys who beat him, and for Erislandy Lara, who gave him problems. So now, while everybody was focusing on stronger, 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 I was like, wait a minute. Skills pay the bills. Historically, skills pay the bills. And what I noticed is that most people, their primary argument as to why Canelo was going to win the fight is because he was bigger and stronger. Then, as the conversations progressed, people would say, no, he got skills too, he got skills. But skills were very rarely, if ever, the primary argument that people made on Canelo's behalf. Usually, that was a secondary argument as a response to people saying that Crawford got skills. Oh yeah, but Canelo got skills too. Of course, he's an all-time great fighter. But it seems like subconsciously people knew that Terence Crawford was the more skilled fighter out of them two. Because Canelo, people who were saying Canelo was going to win that fight rarely brought up the skills as their main talking point. So now we're talking about, from my point of view at least, when I'm making this prediction, Crawford actually has the physical advantages. Why? Because strength is not a deciding factor. Mostly it could be in the heavyweight division. Boom, one punch, you're out of there. But below that, where guys are, fast, certain level of skills, and you think that a guy like Terence Crawford is just gonna get cooked, he's gonna get stopped, he's gonna get, put out of there. So when I'm making this prediction, I'm not going by, I think he's not gonna handle power. The guy's never been dropped in 41 fights. Why would I not think he could handle power? There was no reason for me to feel that way. I felt like he could take the power. Now, why before the fight did I tell people that the size difference wasn't going to be much? The power difference wasn't going to be much. Very simple. Because I'm seeing Terence Crawford walking around in the 180s since last year. I said to myself then, this guy's big. This guy's been training in the 180s. This guy's been running, sparring, hitting the bags, jumping ropes, doing everything in the 180s. I even try to tell you guys, when Canelo fought William Skull, he made 168. Crawford stepped on a scale and he was weighing 185 pounds. That means that the same day Canelo Alvarez was fighting William Skull, Crawford was actually bigger than him in any way you can measure it. And I'm talking about as far as taller, longer, and heavier. The only measurement that Canelo had on Crawford is that he has a wider frame. But Crawford was in the 180s and Canelo in the 160s. Almost 20 pounds heavier than Canelo when he was fighting Skull. So all I'm telling you, while people wanted to believe that he wasn't going to be able to handle the power and that he was too little, I'm already seeing a guy that looks physically bigger than Canelo.